Thibaut, now we are in front of one of my favorite watches on earth. This, if you say perpetual calendar, the first watch that jumps into my head is an MB&F. Now, I think for me, this is one of the best inventions of the 21st century. This is the epiphany of watchmaking. This is Max Busser on my wrist. Tell me more about this watch. And so now we have an MB&F style pen. We will use this to present, okay. Please. Right. Okay.
So this perpetual calendar is a collaboration between Max Busser and the MB&F team and someone Max called a genius, which is quite rare for him to consider someone else being a genius.
Yes.
It's Stephen McDowell, which is an Irish watchmaker. And what is interesting with this watchmaker is that he's not a watchmaker by training. He never studied watchmaking.
He likes watchmaking.
He likes watchmaking. He studied theology.
Theology? Wow.
And at some point, as a hobby, started to learn about watchmaking. Why is that interesting? Because
if you're not trained, then you have passion.
You have passion, and what is interesting is that you are not in the process of doing what your teacher told you should be.
So you don't follow the book.
You don't follow the book. And that's exactly what did happen with this project. One day, he came to see Max. The story between Max and Stephen can come back to the first piece, the HM1. If you want, one day we can go dig into that. But
beautiful.
At some point, Stephen approached Max and said, Max, I have an idea for a new perpetual calendar. And most of the perpetual calendar have this issue of desynchronization.
Yeah, when you pass the date, you cannot go back.
You cannot go
Never.
back. That's one point. Or you will do the date, but then the day of the week is not matching anymore, and then everything is desynchronized and you need to send it back for service.
Right.
There is a reason behind. Stephen McDowell was able to identify why all these perpetual calendar on the markets are having the same problem of desynchronization. It's a mechanical issue. They are all based on the same system. You have 31 days in a month, and at the end, after the 31 day at midnight, it jumped to 1.
Right.
Easy. But when you have 30 days in a month, you need to tell the system
to skip a day.
Don't jump 1, jump twice.
Right.
And that's creating stress, mechanical stress inside the movement. And imagine at the end of February,
you have to skip 3.
You need to jump 3 days. That is one of the reasons why most of the perpetual calendar are in fact being desynchronized. So because he did not study perpetual calendar by the book, he started thinking about that and started to develop a new concept with a mechanical processor. It's an insane complex mechanism. That is 580 components versus normally a perpetual calendar at 250. So it's more than double the number of components of a traditional perpetual calendar.
So let me just translate all what you said. بالنسبة حق الساعة هذه البربتشوال كالندر اللي اشتغل فيها اسمه ستيفن ماكدول ايرلندي ما درس يعني ما دش سكول ما دش واتش ميكينج سكول او مدرسة صناع الساعات ولا يفكر بالطريقة التقليدية في صناعة الساعات وهذا الشيء سمح له انه يحل مشكلة البربتشوال كالندر او رزنامة السنة الكبيسة اللي موجودة في الساعات المعقدة او الكومبليكيشن واتشز. اللي يقوله ثيبوت انه علشان ساعة تحسب السنة الكبيسة لازم الساعة تعرف انه مثلا في تاريخ في اشهر 31 يوم وفي الاشهر ال 30 يوم لازم الساعة تحسب انها لازم تتحرك مرتين من تاريخ 30 الى تاريخ 1 تعدي ال 31 وفي شهر 2 اللي هو يعتبر 28 لازم الساعة تتعلم انه تتحرك 3 ايام وهذا الشيء يسبب ضغوطات على الماكينة الميكانيكية او ميكانيكال ستريس على الماكينة الميكانيكية وبهالطريقة ماكدول قدر انه يحط شيء اسمه بروسيسور معالج ميكانيكي داخل الساعة يحل هالمشكلة. Please continue.
Okay. So the way the mechanical processor is working is the following. Every month have 28 days.
Yes.
Some of them are more, but all of them have 28 days. So the basis wheel
is 28 days.
Is 28 days. And then after, when you need extra days, then The mechanical processor will calculate that depending on the leap year and the month, and will tell to the system on every 25th of the month, that's the number of steps extra you need to do.
For this
so if
month.
it's the 31 days month, January for example, it will say you need to do 3 extra jumps. If it's end of February on a non-leap year, then it will be 28 days, so you don't do any steps before. So then it's the date that you can see here will be retrograde. So meaning that when it's 28, end of February, it will fly back to first. If you need to have 30 days, then you will go 2 extra steps and then you fly back to 1. And in 31, you go to 31, you don't jump directly to 1, you will do the retrograde and you come back. And thanks to this system...
So by going back, you can go back anytime.
You can go back anytime.
Amazing. Amazing. فيقول إنه بعكس الساعات التقليدية العادية بدال التواريخ، لو تلاحظون هني بالتواريخ 1 2 3 بدال يعبر من 1 2 3 يرجع من 31 إلى 1، يرجع من 28 إلى 1، يرجع إلى 30 إلى 1، ما يكمل التواريخ يعديها، لا يرجع ريتروجريد والرجوع إلى الوراء. بهالطريقة هذه أي وقت تقدر أنت تعدي الوقت التاريخ المعهود اللي أنت قاعد فيه إذا غلط، بدال لا تدز الساعة مجرد أنك تبطل التاج وترجع حبة أو تضغط البوشرز وترجع تاريخ اللي أنت عديته في تعديل الساعة. بعض التعقيدات اللي موجودة على الساعة اللي مثل ما أنتم قاعد تشوفونها، عندنا رزنامة سنة الكبيسة، وعندنا الباور ريزيرف مثل هنا تشوفون، عندنا الأشهر، عندنا الأيام، عندنا الأيام الأسبوع، عندنا الأيام، عندنا طبعا الباور ريزيرف أو احتياطي الطاقة، وعندنا السنة الكبيسة على اليسار. السنة الكبيسة تلاحظون النقطة البيضاء هي السنة الكبيسة، وتصير يوم فبراير في 29 يوم، وطبعا عندنا الساعة الأساسية. Tell me about the size. How big is this watch?
This watch is the 44 millimeter.
44 ملي للساعة للكيس. Power reserve is what?
The power reserve will be 65 hours.
65 ساعة الباور ريزيرف. And this is white gold, the one?
This version is the white gold.
Is the white gold. I can tell because of the color of the bridges or the main bridge behind everything else. And of course, this is the same movement that is being used in Moses' perpetual calendar. However, it's been MB&F, I'd say. I think because they're using the same basic movement from McDowell for their perpetual calendars.
It was invented before the Moses one.
Ah, okay. It's not the same watch.
It's not the same watch.
Okay. So فلو تلاحظون هو عطاهم البيسك موفمنت، وطبعا هم شالوا كل اللي يقدرون عليه ويسوونها MB&F، جابوا كل الكينيتيك موفمنت او الاشياء المتحركه الى الامام. Can we flip the watch to see the back? Because people will think the back looks more complicated, but I'm pretty sure everything complicated is in the front. فلو تلاحظون نفس طريقة الساعات اللي احنا قاعد نسولف عن، نفس طريقة الألم ساعة فيها الراوند بريدجز، بس هني الاسكيبمنت بالخلف ما هو موجود بالأمام، لأن حاطين الدايلز كلها أو التواريخ كلها لازم تكون موجودة ومبينة. وعندنا طبعا كل التشطيبات اللي متعودين عليها من MB&F، وعندنا الراوند بريدجز أو الجسور المتعرجة اللي سولف عنها تيبوت، وعندنا طبعا أعلى نوع تشطيبات موجودة على الساعات. فأعتقد يعني سولفنا. And for the perpetual calendar, what's the model name used by MB&F?
We called it Legacy Machine Perpetual.
Legacy Machine Perpetual. هي حركة الأرض أو Legacy Machine أو المحرك ذات الأرض لMB&F، واسمه السنة الكبيسة. Thank you, Thibault, for this amazing for your time and this amazing explanation of the Legacy Machine Perpetual calendar. We'll move on to the next watch.